Another drink?
It's just gone 7:30. Let's go through the papers now with Christopher Beans and Emily Carver. Good to have you both with us. Emily, unsurprisingly, the cost of living in the Mirror.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Sorry, guys at home.
No. It's
Gordon Brown,
important.
former Prime Minister and Chancellor, has made an intervention in the Mirror. He's saying that because the fuel and energy crisis, the cost of living crisis, is so bad and so imminent and, top of the agenda, that the government really should be in permanent session. That's COBRA. The government's Disaster Emergency Committee should be in session throughout the summer.
Is it not a disaster though if people are having to make horrible choices, like whether they feed the dog or themselves?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, he makes a good point. It does seem during the summer, particularly with this leadership contest not coming to a head till September, we do seem to be in a state of limbo. And of course, government is still working, but decisions can't really be made. The Prime Minister is on his honeymoon. I'm not sure if he's back yet. I don't know where the other ministers are. We've got Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, of course, battling it out, so they're only interested in their own hustings.
And by the way, on that, I'm also going to be exhausted when they actually take over the keys to number 10 on the 6th of September. I can't understand how they're going to dive headlong into all these problems, having not had a minute of respite.
Well, it's very true. And all their advisors and things, because presumably they'll keep their teams that they've got at the moment and bring them into number 10 with them. So they're all going to need a holiday. But of course they won't be able to have a holiday.
They should make a decision now about...
That's what I think.
It's ridiculous.
I agree with Gordon Brown.
Yeah. I mean, make a decision because we're in a crisis.
Yes. And I
we
think
need a Prime Minister.
That's what's interesting about the way this has been covered on the Mirror. It's the person that's getting everyone's backs up, certainly in the right-wing press anyway.
Yeah.
But actually, his message, a lot of people would probably agree with, as you do.
I think so, without any doubt. I mean, he's right. But I mean, it's a situation where I can't think why governments or politicians would want to go away during this time. Because this is the time where they can actually do something or try and do something to help us out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, the argument is that they need a holiday, and if they have families and things, this is the period where they can take one. But yes, I think
they shouldn't have
I think we should have more noticeable government at this point in time. But I mean, Gordon Brown has said some sensible things. He says even if Boris Johnson is on holiday, his deputies should be negotiating to buy new oil and gas supplies from other countries. And that's the crucial point. We have a gas supply crisis. We need to be going around the world trying to get more.
Yeah.
If we're not going to dig it up out of the ground here or, explore more in the North Sea, we need to be going to different countries and saying, please, give us some.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. GBVs at GBNEWS.uk. Christopher, after you've had your Dover Sole, according to a study in the Mail, you should have a 2-minute walk to help fight diabetes.
Yeah, well, I suffer from type 2 diabetes, which a lot of people do. And I think what they're saying, and of course they're always coming up with new ways to fight certain things, problems you have. And I think it's a bit obvious to say you should have a walk for at least 2 minutes after a meal. Well, of course, exercise is the thing. I mean, to eat less and to exercise is the secret of losing weight and perhaps not losing your diabetes problem.
But a 2-minute walk seems literally a quick fix.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-minute walk
We can all manage that, can't we?
I think so, going to the lavatory, after your meal. But I mean, I think that it's, I think you need to do a bit more than 2 minutes. I mean, I think it's, 20 minutes at least.
Yeah.
I don't do it, but I mean, I should do it, but I think it's a very good idea.
You don't always feel like a walk, though, if you've eaten too much.
Yeah, you want to go to bed.
Which I have done in the past.
I mean, it's when I used to go for Christmas up in Scotland with my family, and they're very active up there. And it was always, as soon as Christmas lunch is over, right, that's it, come on, let's all go for a walk through the hail and snowstorm. But it probably is a good thing to do, and it means you stop eating for a bit, right? Which is crucial when you've probably eaten about 10,000 calories that day.
I just always remember someone telling me the way that sumo wrestlers train, and that is to eat a huge meal and then go to sleep. And so whenever I've done that on Christmas Day, I'm like, I'm going to turn into a serious. So I really do like, and I genuinely feel better if I'm moving after I've had a big meal.
Yeah, it does help, but I have to say, I'm of an age where I just like to...
Like a sumo wrestler.
No, just have a little sleep, just after you've eaten. Just
No, I agree. The sleep is lovely.
Yeah.
We should do more of that, I think. We should follow Europe and
Siestas.
have siestas.
Yeah.
They're wonderful things.
Yeah,
We're going to
so-
need them this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is true. Yeah, 35 degrees on the way apparently.
I'm off to Italy today.
Are you? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm
off
going to Tuscany.
Oh, beautiful.
And we're, interestingly enough, we're going on a train.
All the way to
All the way. We're going to Paris, and then we go to Italy, and then we go down to Chiusi, where we're going to be met by friends and stay with them.
Goodness, I've done that trip down to Italy on the
Is it
train.
good fun?
Great.
Yeah.
You whistle down through France on the TGV, and then you head through the Dolomites, which is spectacular on the French-Italian border.
We're so looking forward
Absolutely
to it.
beautiful. I want to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killed you.
Actually, Emily, you want to talk about teeth? I should just and about dentists. But I just want to read you this from James, who says on how hard it is to get a dentist. I moved from Bournemouth to Exeter area 3 years ago, and I'm unable to find an NHS dentist for my children aged 9 and 12. I rang the NHS helpline, and the nearest NHS dentist they could offer me was in Southampton, a 3-hour drive away.
Oh my God.
I'm a Conservative voter and disgusted.
Well, apparently the Southwest is one of the worst affected places
Yeah, for getting a dentist,
for getting a dentist.
NHS dentist.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
9 in 10 NHS dentists refuse to take new patients. I know you've been running this in your bulletins. It seems to be a cocktail of problems. You've got dentists finding that they can be paid more, presumably, and have better working conditions with private practice, so they're moving in their hordes. Then you've got, obviously, backlog from the pandemic. People probably didn't think that teeth was their first priority during that period. And now, maybe, perhaps people haven't gone for an appointment for years, so more people are coming. Seems that demand is just skyrocketing, and I don't know if this is an issue with funding, if it's an issue with how it's managed, I don't know, but if you can't find a dentist in large swathes of the country, I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do. Apparently people are taking to DIY dentistry.
That's
We've
the
heard horror
worst,
stories in
isn't
the
it?
last few weeks, haven't we? About people ripping out their own teeth, having a shot of whiskey or whatever, and then just...
And a piece of string on the tooth
Yeah.
and the door
The
handle.
door handle.
Yeah.
Do people actually do that? Or
Well, I
is
find it
that
the best way
happening
of
to
doing it.
Fair enough. Look at your teeth. It's not done you any harm.
No, they're marvellous at my age. It's quite good.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how it is difficult, I think, to find a dentist.
Yeah.
It's one of those problems. I think it's something we have to sort of resolve.
Yeah, it's just shortage of everything.
Talking to your lovely doctor who was on earlier about the national health, I was saying how wonderful it is. And, how great if you really need looking after. They are marvellous, but it's the in-between.
Well, also in the papers, and maybe we'll get it in the next paper review, but discussions about epidurals for pregnant women
Yes.
being in short supply, and the thought of women having to go through childbirth without being able to get adequate pain relief is like ripping your teeth yourself. It's
I had
up
an epidural
there with
when
nightmare stuff.
on my knee, when I had a new knee. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I love my epidurals.
Oh, they're
I could top it up myself.
And they also, you don't have any after effects, do you? There's no after effects.
Well, not immediately.
Just the baby, I
Just
suppose.
the baby. Yeah.
Christopher, cheese. Cheese, the heat wave in the Times to make French cheese way more pricey.
Well, what's
Way
happened
more pricey.
is...
Way, oh, I see.
Yeah, you see,
How did I miss that?
Very good.
I'd spell way.
Yeah. W.
French and Swiss cheeses are becoming more and more expensive because there's a huge milk shortage because the cows and the sheep can't get water
Oh.
to
I
drink.
see,
So
okay.
there's the problem. And
Right, now they're really, as far as I'm concerned, the crisis has just got real with the water shortage.
The water-
cows aren't being able to get enough water.
Exactly, which is a
no.
terrifying thought.
Yeah.
And of course, then they're putting up the prices of all these cheeses. Another excuse to charge more. But the poor cows and the poor. There's a lovely picture in the Times of lovely cows.
Oh, there's a cheese float coming. Oh, look at
very
that.
nice.
There's some gratuitous cheese action for you.
that-
Oh, look at the way he carved that. Oh, lovely that was.
Beautifully, very sexy.
Doesn't look like French cheese though. Is that French cheese?
That's
I think,
cheddar, isn't it?
I think that's good British cheese. As nice as French cheese is, that we
I mean-
do some good cheeses. There's that famous Liz Truss clip, isn't there?
Yeah.
Isn't there about cheese? Yeah, that is disgusting.
Growing everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cheese is just expensive anyway, isn't it? A block of cheddar,
Yeah.
£5.
Parmesan.
lucky.
That's hugely expensive. You get a nice piece.
It is
I
good.
love
We'll have to
parmesan.
ration our usage.
is.
That's what we seem to be telling us.
Yeah, but if
I mean,
you-
Gordon Brown was saying we need to ration everything, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great. You need to string out your cheese more. Shark
Yeah,
attack.
Biggins, tell us about this on page 11 of The Sun.
Well, this is, this is.
Is this in the UK?
No, this is in the Bahamas. But
Oh,
it
right.
seems to be happening more and more. It's happening over here, down in Cornwall the other day, that poor girl who was attacked. And I don't know whether it's global warming that's doing this to the sharks, but they seem to be really having a feast. And this poor boy, and there's a shot of him stroking, I presume this is patting a shark during a tour before he was mauled on his leg. And you can see really badly, his leg has been lots and lots of stitches around the knee area. And poor thing, must have been terrible for
Well,
him.
lucky he's got his leg intact, to be honest. It would be
Absolutely.
much worse from sharks.
So I think it was all well's there and well because he's stroking the shark now and he's made up.
Oh, I see. This after, is it,
I
the
think-
shark?
is it? Or
Oh,
I
right.
don't know.
I'm not sure. Well, he's
guess
very
that-
brave to,
Right.
But I mean, it is worrying. I worry about, like, for instance, jellyfish. I'm terrified of jellyfish.
Oh, they're
And yet-
becoming more and more common, aren't they?
But you know, you can eat them.
Oh, what?
You can make them
Is this
into.
part of the cost of living crisis?
Yeah, well, no, but you can. You can make them into chips.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What?
There are jellyfish chips.
There.
Yeah.
Is this to go with your Dover sole?
No. This is it's bizarre, isn't it? But they are saying we should eat more jellyfish because
Okay.
they're edible, and deep fry them and do all
Oh.
things. I know. I agree. I couldn't.
Oh, they're sort of ghostly, sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
otherworldly. I don't
Yeah.
like
But when you get the bill, you get a real sting.
Oh,
Anyway, but I have to say,
dear.
these sharks are called nurse sharks. Possibly the most that's a terrible name.
yeah.
Called nurse
The
sharks.
nurse.
They attack
Because it
poor
sounds
boys.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I
They're
bet
called
many a
killer
nurse
sharks.
is a shark.
Yeah,
We're getting emails from nurses.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
No, I
we've got
love
time
you.
for one more story, and I think we'll end on a cheerful one. We all love our pets, don't we, in this country? I mean, this is in Times 2, and this is about how if you're a dog walker or a dog sitter, you're coining it in this summer.
Well, yeah, because there may be lots of people at home who are semi-retired or retired, and they're looking at the cost of living and they're thinking, oh, I need a little bit of money. It's time to be a dog sitter. Because apparently, well, we know that lots of people got pets during the lockdown. Apparently it was 3.2 million households acquired a pet during the lockdown.
3.2
Many of them-
really?
Isn't that mad?
That's a lot.
Many of them,
Adorable.
many of them will be dogs, of course. Anyway, this lady in this article, she's gone from charging people £40 to £60 a night, and the bookings still keep on coming. That's £420 a week for a week's dog sitting. She could do several dogs at one go, so then you're making quite a good wage.
That's pretty decent.
And my parents used to give their dog to a woman, and she didn't charge anything.
Yeah.
Because basically she'd had dogs, but she couldn't cope with them passing away. So she decided that she'd just look after other people's dogs for a bit of cash.
Aw.
Whatever. It's quite a nice thing to do if
Yeah,
you
but-
can handle it.
Yeah, and handling it, you've got to remember, you've got to handle all the
Bits and pieces,
that's
yeah.
the thing about multiple
Yeah.
dogs. that
I've
go
got
walk-
friends who've got kennels down in the country, and they have the dogs have their own little room, and they have a television. Because they say that they're so used to televisions in their own homes that when they go away,
They miss it.
they miss it. So they have a television, and then they have a little play area outside. It's fantastic.
Pampered pooches.
Pampered.
That's
PP.
good.
PP.
There. Why isn't that the lead story? This
Yes.
morning?
Mine went to a place called the Wag Club.
Oh,
Yeah, the Wag Club.
sweet.
Colleen Rooney hasn't patented that. We'll leave it at that. Biggins and Emily will be back for us at about 8:30 thereabouts to go through the papers one last time. Now, thank you both.